Hey guys, Troy here, back with another video today. Today we're going to be talking about basketball cards, and more specifically, if players from the 2019-2020 draft class are a buy right now. Now let's knock out the easy ones first. Zion Williamson and Ja Morant, in my opinion, are almost certainly buys right now. Because in my opinion, at the very least, their prices will see a pretty sharp rise right before or at the beginning of next season. But today I'm here more to talk about the players who are a little more iffy. You can find a million different perspectives on Zion and Ja Morant, and I've given them before. But I want to talk today more about your Jarrett Culvers, your Roy Hachimuras, your Kobe Whites. Because even for me, talking with my friends, I'm not really sure what to think. Should I be buying those guys? They've definitely seen a pretty large decline in their prices in the past month. So there's a pretty big chance there's opportunity there. But that's what I want to discuss with you guys today. And usually the best tool you have to predict the future is looking back at the past. So I just wanted to quickly look at the 2018 NBA draft class to see if they could give us any guidance for what should we be thinking on this current draft class and whether we should be buying or not. And there are two players from that 2018 draft class who seem to support the idea that we should definitely be buying right now. And that is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic Prism PSA 9 bases were under $100 during the last offseason. And those cards got all the way up to about $800 during the peak of the playoffs this year. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, another player, after his first season with the Clippers, people weren't talking about him that much, so his prices were very, very low. You could have picked some of his stuff up for basically dirt cheap. And they also really, really rose during the bubble this season. Prices naturally go down for rookies after their first season because the newness, the freshness wears off. It's the same thing as buying a new car. As soon as you drive it off the lot, you lose like 25% of its value right there. But as those two players show, if you can find, a real star like Luka, or even better, if you can find someone like SGA who has kind of flew under the radar and has that star potential, you can make, 6 or 8 times your money. But obviously, guys, in sports cards, not everything is rainbows and unicorns. Now let's talk about more the negative side. I want to talk about Kevin Knox. Averaged 12.8 points per game in his first year, was looking like he had a lot of potential. He had shown real flashes, and his cards were relatively expensive during the last offseason. But this season, he only averaged 7 points per game. And now with Kevin Knox cards, you basically can't give those away. Even someone who did pretty well this year, Colin Sexton, averaged 20 points per game. His Prism Silver PSA 10 is going for about $350. And there's a ton of players that I won't even take time to mention from the 2018 NBA draft class who are perfectly fine players, getting minutes, scoring a little bit, and their cards are basically worthless. And that's basically one of the big points of this video. I want you guys to know and to keep in mind, as soon as those first 2 years are done, if the player hasn't shown it to you, that's basically it. Their cards are going down. So that brings me to the question. Should you be buying Jarrett Culver, Roy Hachimura, RJ Barrett? Unfortunately, I can't say definitively yes or no. I just want to caution you guys and basically say I think at this very point, it's a very high risk, high reward. You could look back at this period right now, this off season, and be kicking yourself thinking, oh my gosh, why did I not buy more RJ Barrett? He's an absolute star in New York right now. But also at the same time, if you buy that Jarrett Culver Silver Prism PSA 10 for $150, I really think, if you honestly ask me, the most likely scenario is he has an average year next year and that card is worth $50.
I like it.
In which case you're losing 66%, which is a pretty big hit. So my recommendation would be, first of all, be cautious. I wouldn't put a huge portion of your money into these guys going into their second year who are still unproven. Maybe pick 1 or 2 players, know the risk of investing in them, and then also, as I've mentioned in some of my older videos, there's going to be a ton of hype going into this next season. maybe if you pick up 4 RJ Barrett cards, maybe look into getting them graded or just keep them raw, and then maybe sell 1 or 2 right at the beginning of next season or when he has his first big game. You'll be able to recoup a large amount of your original investment, and it'll be much less risky for you to let the remaining 2 ride. All right, guys, that's it for the video today. Kind of a quick one. Make sure to like and subscribe down below and let me know what you think. Thanks again.